I think the grounding element of it and why it's not your average horror movie and why I think therefore it has a kind of insidious, it sort of penetrates in a different way than your average movie, and in my hope anyway, is that it allows you to sort of get more inside of rooting for the characters, and you're sort of not just having that final girl thing of like hoping she survives, but it's like you want her not to go through any more pain. You would like Margaret not to have to suffer anymore, even if ultimately this may be suffering at her own hand, you know. So I think my thought about what is grounding it is that is sort of the spine of the movie, and the heartbeat of the film is about her desire to protect the ones that she loves. And so I think that maybe puts it sort of both feet on the ground in a different way.
It's good you brought the girls, Margaret.
Why is that?
I guess you haven't heard about the Drifter. Killed the mama and the kids.
Did they ever catch the Drifter?
It's like he just melted into the dust.
Because I am not a mother, I try to think about it in the way of like, what does motherhood mean to me? How do I relate to that? And I think about my friendships, or I think about even my love relationships. I think about my relationship to my sibling. I think about her relationship to her kids. I think about my relationship with my grandmother. I think about my relationship with my own mother. I think about it more as a collective experience as opposed to something I've personally embodied for myself in my life. But it made it very clear to me what it was to care about someone or something more than you care about yourself. And there's some sort of selfless element that has to be present to make those life choices, and I could relate to it in that way, mostly by observation.
The gray man is everywhere. You can't keep him out.
Didn't I ask you to tie the doors?
I did!
He seeps through the cracks and gets inside you.
I had read about the Dust Bowl and obviously learned about it when I was in school, but not in an in-depth way at all. And I certainly, when I decided to do the movie, did some research, but I was afraid to do too much actually, because I thought, I don't want to be that person who's sort of outside of the experience going, oh, I remember how they solved this. I know how this ended for them, because I thought I don't want to have anything dancing around my mind that was sort of going to communicate the resolution of the circumstance. So I did some research, but not as much as I might do. So you're right. Normally I do a lot. This was less. I watched the Ken Burns documentary entitled The Dust Bowl, which was really informative and very powerful, because you were watching and listening to people who survived it and people who saw it. And you could sort of see the terror in their eyes, or the faraway look that they would get when recalling some of the storms. And I think maybe what surprised me the most was how some of it was created by us. It was the dovetailing of the horrible droughts that happened in quick succession mixed with over-farming the land, and how we kind of created some of the problem, and then Mother Nature wasn't going to help us with a solution. And also some of the pictures in terms of how dark and black and how tall these storms were. You know, it was like something I couldn't even imagine, just like an absolute black as night. You know, that this is one thing that they talked about, how you could never tell what time of day it was. It seemed like it was midnight at 10 in the morning when you were in the middle of the storm. It might as well have been midnight. That's how dark it was. So that was pretty wild.